Right, we are live. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 3 of the Steve and Dan Show. My name's Dan Holloway. I'm here with my co-host, Steve Herbert. Say hi, Steve.
Hey, how you doing?
Good stuff, good stuff. Steve's actually having roofing problems with his house at the moment, so if his energy is a little lower than normal, it's because contractors are driving him insane, so hopefully that'll get sorted soon for you. Yeah. So, as I say, my name's Dan Holloway. Just brief introduction for anyone that is watching this for the first time. Came from a career in corporate software sales. Joined SFM September the 10th, 2016. Been a very sort of rapid progress and journey for me so far through this process and through the business. Essentially, I joined because I had the realization that every income goal that I had in the past, you know, whatever that was, I suddenly realized that it never really brought me fulfillment. And therefore, every income goal that I had in the future, working in the same career path I was in, wasn't really going to bring me fulfillment either. Suddenly realized I was on the wrong path. I needed to make a change and do something different. So that's when I discovered SFM. I was really looking to create, you know, a life of freedom for myself, a benchmark and a platform to achieve the things that I wanted to achieve. Steve, if you'd like to give a little overview of yourself as well, just for everyone watching, please.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Steve here. Husband, father, been an entrepreneur pretty much all of my life. Very non-conventional as far as career path and that sort of thing. I've done a number of different things. Started and run businesses in real estate, in private lending, in construction. Have a big background in construction, but I found that, you know, starting and running my own businesses never really gave me the true freedom that I was looking for. Ultimately, I wanted to be able to spend more time with my family, and it seemed like the bigger my business got, the more time it took from me and it took from my family. So I needed something where I could get leverage, essentially. And that's when I came across SFM, and, you know, using that leverage to be able to get free from, you know, it's a good business, but I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, and yeah, the irony of now having contractors in my house. I love it. Anyway.
Yeah. You're ecstatically happy about it. But
I really am. It just gives me even more empathy for my customers. So it's a good learning experience.
Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. Taking the positives. So thank you, Steve. We're joined today by special guest, Sietske. So Sietske, if you'd like to give everyone a little bit of an introduction of, you know, who Sietske is and really, you know, what your background was before SFM, and then we'll talk a little bit about your journey getting started.
Yeah, that's cool. Hi, everybody. My name is Sietske Cuhfus, and I live in the Netherlands. And I used to be a former small business owner in communication, web design, writing in Dutch. And I was a bit of I did a lot of things, and I was always exploring, and I was unfulfilled with the work after about 8 years, and I was like, is this everything? Is this it? It didn't bring me the fulfillment I was looking for, and even I liked what I was doing, because I really love communication and I really love writing, but I think it was the setting in which it was. I was also looking for freedom that made me hungry for more. And there I came to realize something that I will talk about later. So
I'm curious to know what that is already.
Yeah.
We'll come on to that. Good stuff. So, Sietske, when you discovered SFM, what was? So you mentioned about really, you know, wanting more freedom and being kind of unfulfilled after 8 years. How did you discover SFM? What happened in that moment for you?
What I remember is that I read the. I liked Stuart, you know, and I wrote into the videos and everything. And when I read the PDF about attraction marketing, I was like, yes, this is it. This is where I can do what I love and build a brand around me, about me as a person, and do something that I really love to do. Whatever it, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to bring, but I knew this could be big. You know, it was, and I saw the value of this attraction marketing, because that was one of the things I didn't really like about the business world. I'm more creative than a sensitive person than a business person. So when it came to assignments, I was always like giving it all, 150%. But then the results, the money, you know, was always disappointing, because I didn't ask enough. I didn't value myself, I think, enough. And that's where I thought, well, attraction marketing is more about who you are, and you can build an audience with your values and with what's important to you in your life. And that's where I thought, well, this is what I want to do. And when I started out, it was so overwhelming. I was diving in there, and I was like, I'm going to make it in 6 months. But after 3 months, I was like overwhelmed. But there was also another side, is that I got an idea, and I thought, well, I can use the things I'm learning with SFM on an online marketing site for this new idea. So I ran with the new idea, and SFM I put on the side. So that was in, I think, 2013, when Stuart and Jay just were collaborating. And I left for about 1.5 years. And the other thing didn't work out. And that's also one of the things that I like about SFM, that you are being... you have this business coaching community where you can grow and where you can be yourself. And that's what I missed when I was out there with my partners, and something was just not right. It wasn't, and what happened was, and that had been happening for me in the past as well, is that when I came to success, I had this great idea, I ran with it and worked really hard, and in the end it would blow in my face, like boom, gone. And it was so frustrating, and I really wanted to end that. I wanted success, but in a good way, not the business, harsh business way, but in a way that you feel like you've earned it, and you've earned the trust and respect of your customers, and bringing value. Really, that's where it all comes down to bringing value.
Perfect, good stuff. So the attraction marketing, then, like you say, was a massive part of that transition for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you mentioned about the, and I'll give you a shot to talk in a minute as well, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. You're on a roll. I'll let you go.
Thanks, man. So you mentioned about the difference in the community. So you're when you're in the other business, it's kind of like you're out on your own, but then with SFM, you have obviously a lot more backing and so on and so forth. So how would you describe that difference for you in your journey? What has that community aspect given you in and out of SFM?
Well, there were a lot of things. I must admit that when I first started out with SFM, I was too scared to go into the community side, because not that I'm a real shy person when I'm one-on-one, it's, you know, and I had to go to clients, so I was I did have my experiences, but when I had to go into this community side, I saw all this success, and oh, I got so many leads, I got this, I got that, and I was really intimidated by that. And so I didn't go in there for a long time. But the moment I dared to go in there and just ask for help or reach out for help, helping others, that's when it started to change. And I think the moment is when JJ started his wake-up call, and you have to go. You can attend this little mastermind every day, and that gives you the feeling you belong. Like you belong to a group, and they care. And that's when I started to feel this community feeling, because before that I didn't really have that feeling. But the moment they started that, I was like, okay, I like this. I'll commit to this. And after that, I also became a gold member, and I had coaching from Greg and Fiona. Mm-hmm. And let me see what happened after that. Is that I connected with Frank and Jill, and they helped me really on the personal side, because it was the tactics and stuff is something that is everybody can learn that. Of course you have to do the work, but everybody can learn that. But for me it was the personal barriers that were there to overcome.
Yeah.
And I really needed someone to look me in the eye and say, we see you and we like you and we are going to help you, and we are here for you to, if you fall, we'll pick you up. So that was, for me, that was a big thing to grow. And after a while, Steve, you started the group with a few members, and I was really honored to be invited to this group, and that has been my biggest push to really get over this. It's a lot of fears, but I had to go over this last one, and that happened in your group. So I'm really grateful for being in there. Yeah.
Well, sure. We are honored to have you as a part of it. And it sounds like it's really the community that has made the biggest difference for you as part of the SFM. Like you said, the training, anybody can learn new skills. Anybody can learn how to do it. But yeah, it's having the people there to support you. The saying, success is a team sport. And yeah, I think it's been very similar for me, that, having the other people there, because well, here's an example. We're all across the world. I'm in the US, Dan's in the UK, you're in the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
And, yet we can collaborate and work together and support each other and learn from each other. And that's pretty incredible. And which also goes back to what I was talking about earlier about getting leverage, and, that leveraging the internet. So just give me an idea of kind of day to day in your world. Are you still working outside of SFM, or is SFM kind of your full-time? I know you've got a family, so there's nothing truly full-time when you have a family, because that always takes a lot of time.
That's right. Yeah.
Just obviously it's something that you've added to your life.
Yeah.
And you've got to deal with that. You've got to adjust your schedule. You've got to find time to do things like this or be on the wake-up calls. Yeah. How have you made that work? How have you found that fitting into your life?
Well, it had, my journey has been a pretty long one, because I think I really had to come from, I had to unlearn a lot of stuff. And the moment I started to do the wake up calls, to do my daily meditation, to read every day, to do just like you say, you know, the habits that you start to develop. And in the beginning, they just look like, well, not important, but now I see they are important. They are of influence of my growth inside. And what I've done is at first I tried to focus only on SFM as a company, you know, bringing in the leads, trying to cope with that. But the problem with me was that I had a background in marketing communication. So I was in this high horse, like knowing it all, you know, like I know it all, I'm going to do this. And I had to get off the horse first. And that took me a while to get off that horse and just start at the bottom and work my way up. But it was, I must admit that from the start with the attraction marketing, I always had this vision in my mind, and that's just the way I work, is that I have this vision in my mind, but then I have to do the work. And there's a long way between this and this. And if you have this in your vision and you're only here, you'll get pretty frustrated. If you're, you know, when you're here and you know you want to go there. So it's been really a journey for me to go back to who I really am, and to find my value, because that's what I think the SFM nowadays is all about. That you find your value and bring your value to your audience, whatever it may be. And that's where you start a company. That's where you start maybe a charity, maybe something else, or something creative, or whatever you think you can help people with and earn money, because that's the flow, like this. And I think that's, for me, it was the moment that I found out that I was in my own way, that I started to grow. And that, I must admit, it took me a while. I had like this big wooden plank in front of me. And the moment I started to feel that, and go into the community more and connect and go to the events and connect, and I started to feel more happy. And I thought, well, this is where I want to go. And what happened is that I was looking for a way to express myself, and at first I really started to do video, because I thought, well, that's one of the things I really want to learn, to express myself with my voice. So that's what I started. But in the end, I found an even better way and that's something that I've been doing in the past as well. It's like bringing, I've always believed in, when you tell a story, there has to be an image, because I'm a really visual person, and and the combination of the two is very powerful. But most of the time, it's like you bring the image or you bring the text and they put them together. But in this case, I created something that they really compensate, or how do you say that? They really make a synergy together.
Complement each other.
Yeah, complement each other.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started thinking of a magazine, and I started out telling my own journey with this, and since about 3 months ago, I think I had this idea to not make it about me, but make it about women, to empower women. And because my life has been about self-doubt, about not confident enough, holding myself back. I'm almost 50 years old, and I feel like I didn't use all my potential because I was in my own way. So I really want young women to not go through the same experience.
All right. So the magazine is something I think talk about, because I know this has been a big part of your journey up until this point. Before we do, because it sounds like you've gone through a lot of personal development of, like you say, removing those limiting beliefs, getting out your own way, allowing yourself to progress like you have done, Sietske.
Yeah.
What would you say to, if you could give one bit of advice to past Sietske, so 2013, discovered SFM, knowing what you know now and knowing what you know that has enabled you to launch this magazine, which, as I say, we'll touch on, what bit of advice would you give to Sietske just starting out?
Oh, that's a hard one. Because one of the things that I had to learn is that I was so critical about me. Not even like what will everybody think, because that was something that I already deleted with my own company, you know. But this, I had to be this critics. I had to get over that one, and that was a big one for me. So I would say to my older self or younger self, just do more and not think so much, because I have a lot of Word documents with all kinds of I've written down so much, but I think I should have done more. I should have experienced more, and but I also believe in you need to go through things because it will bring you to where you need to be. And I think I just had to walk this journey to be where I'm now. So in that sense, I wouldn't do it differently.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in sort of along those same lines, you've, again, personal growth. I think we've all done a lot of that, being connected with the SFM. And I think we've probably all sort of had that interest prior to becoming connected. I think that's part of it. But how do you see, not so much how do you see yourself in the future, but how does that future look different now compared to, say, 3 years ago? How did Sietske see the future, as opposed to now? How does Sietske see herself in the future?
Yeah, well, it does. It's something that I talked to Jill and Frank this morning, and I was telling them about the launch of the magazine, and that the one I asked before, I had Mel Robbins on the cover.
Which is pretty awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's really
cool.
Great that you got her in your magazine. So proud of you. And just I just got to say that magazine is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. 100%. Terrific job.
And
really incredible.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Great, Sietske. And if anyone watches, if you don't know Mel Robbins, check her out. She's a big deal. So
Yeah, she is. She's funny too. I like her. And but what I think what happened, and I was talking to Jill and Frank this morning, and they said, well, because I said I can't really see what was the difference, but they said you had the belief, and that's why you asked Mel Robbins. If you wouldn't have the belief, you wouldn't. And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it. I was that confident about what I was going to bring that I dared to ask her. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. So, and with my high standards, that would be like, I wouldn't have done that 3 years ago. No way. No way. So, yeah, so that was really a breakthrough, and that, and that's why I feel relieved. I feel free. I feel I can do anything. So it's, yeah.
That's brilliant.
It's very rocks.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's great. You know what? So from what you're saying, you basically, as soon as you see it in there, and as soon as you believe that you could do it for yourself, that's when your actions aligned with that, and the result happened because you believed it, and then it happened.
Yeah.
I mean, that when you talked about the launch of your magazine, and this was how long ago is it now? Was it just under a month, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I think 2 months, maybe 2 months, maybe two. Yeah.
So when you were talking about this and talking about how you got Mel Robbins on the cover, I mean, for me personally, that was a huge wake-up call to think, wow, like we sell ourselves as people, humans, we sell ourselves short so often. We think, there's no way that we don't even consider the possibility that we could do things, like that, maybe build a business that does turn over X amount of money, or get in contact with some, awesomely famous person in our niche and help us build ours, or whatever, but there's things that we don't believe that we can do. We don't even accept the possibility, and therefore it never happens. And see that, Sietske, for me, I realized that, like, even with all the personal development, we still have ceilings that we set on ourselves as to what we think we can do, and we should set those ceilings. So you're an inspiration doing that, and I appreciate you for doing that, Sietske.
Oh, thank you very much. And I think there's another magazine that's called Rank and File, and I think I got the idea from her, because she's started out with her magazine, and she asked Simon Sinek, and I was like, whoa.
Wow.
and he gave her an interview, and that was really awesome. So I think I got the idea from that. I let myself be inspired by her. So, but I'm glad you feel inspired by it. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
And we'll put a link for that magazine, that issue. We'll put them in under this
that's
video.
Great. That's great.
So
Thank you.
People can take a look at it. It's really terrific. So you come from a background in marketing, and you've had those experiences, and it sounds like you had all of the building blocks, but maybe they were not quite in the right order, and you had to take apart that wall and reconstruct it. That's the image that I got in my mind when you were talking about getting off your high horse a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
So was it breaking habits, or changing your perceptions about what marketing was? What was kind of the change that happened in there for you?
Well, I discovered two things. I was in coaching with Greg and Fiona, and after a while, they said to me, they got annoyed with me, really, because I was like, everything they said, I was yes, but, I was giving it back to them like, okay, you go with your shit, you know. it was I was just bouncing it back, and they got annoyed with good reason, and I was really shocked by their reaction. I was like, what am I doing wrong? You know, but then they explained to me, and I was like, okay, I've got to swallow this one. And then I started thinking, and starting to be aware of this behavior, and I came to realize that I was doing that all the time, like somebody throwing back something at me, and then I said no, yes, but you know, rejecting it really. And that was the first growth. And the other one was I had to stay true to myself. And I came to a point where I had to choose between being true to myself or do something that was supposed to do, that you were supposed to do. And I was like, I was being torn apart, like, and that was a moment I would have quit if it weren't for Jill and Frank, because I was like, I don't want to, you know, be disloyal to myself, because I know, but I wasn't sure of myself, so I couldn't really say, okay, I can be sure of myself and I'm be true to myself, you know. So I was drawn to the other side, but I had to. So I came in this. It was a discrepancy. That's how you call it. And the moment that happened, that was also a revelation after that, because I choose to be true to me, and that was a milestone for me. So I could walk my own path from that, you know, started to trust my own decisions. And it didn't feel like that at that moment, but I know that was one of the things that needed to happen. And it was painful, but that's why I'm still here. So
could you share a little bit more about what that experience was for anyone watching that might be going through a similar thing as you, Sietske?
Yeah, well, I was convinced that if you want to build trust with somebody, you have to be you. And at first, the first thing is that I'm really scared to go on video. I don't know what happens, but my face like freezes. I look like somebody else. It's really terrible. So I said to myself, you have to practice this, you know, and I really believed I had to connect with my audience, with me, you know, not with somebody else. So I was working on that, but I sucked at video. So how could I do that to connect with somebody if I looked like some crazy woman, you know? So
that's hard to believe now.
Yeah. No, but you can still watch my videos. It's still not top of the bill. It's still something to work on.
I'm so glad we're doing a video interview with you. This is perfect.
Yeah, but that's such a difference when you talk to people, when you talk to yourself, like, hi. Yeah, that's such a difference. And that feeling of not getting across my own, you know, me, and knowing that's the right thing to do, that's really frustrating. So if you're out there trying, don't give up. You will get there, but or you'll find another way to express yourself, because that's what it's about, I think. You have to find a way. It doesn't really matter which way, where you can express yourself. If you are both very good interviewers, that's a way to express yourself. you don't have to talk yourself, but you can let others talk. Well, my magazine is a way to express yourself. Videos are a way to express yourself. Whatever, what you can think of. But I think that's what it's all about. That's where you make the connection.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think that's a great point. Finding a way to express yourself and having the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
You know, being confident enough in yourself. And you said it a couple of times there about believing in yourself and believing in your own decisions and your own ability.
Yeah.
And the decisions that you make were valid and worthwhile, and that you had something to say. I think that's so dead on. I know that I have similar issues, standing up in front of a camera by myself and talking to that little dot. It's the most unnatural thing in the world. And then to come across as genuine and to convey a message, it's just so weird. But practice and belief, and we can do anything.
That's right. And I just wanted to add one more thing, is that another breakthrough I had was is it too long?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because
we want to hear it.
one other breakthrough I went to the Gold event in Vegas. Two breakthroughs. The first one was I went to New York with my husband, and my husband, he flew me there, and I came to this event, and I was like, I wouldn't be here if my husband didn't fly me, because I had a cheap ticket, So, but my husband, he went up to Stu and Jay, and he talked to them, and he said he was so grateful for giving me the opportunity to grow and to do whatever I wanted to do. And that made me realize that he valued me more than I valued myself. I was like, oh, if he didn't come, I wouldn't come, So that was that was shocking for me. That and the other thing was I went to Vegas, and that was awesome, by the way. Great training, and great to be in a community with all the members and getting to know a lot of people, and knowing that you're not alone with all these ideals. That's also a good thing about SFM. And what happened was I've made 2 magazines already about me, and then I walked up to ask a question. I was scared to ask the question because there were 6 men, all men by the way, on the stage, and they gave me an answer. I was like, I don't like this answer. It wasn't what I expected, because what I wanted to hear. And then I walked back to my chair and I was like, am I going to do what they say, or am I going to follow my own instinct? And I've been making those issues of the magazines with so much passion and love. I thought, well, you can just say whatever you want. I'm going to do it anyway, So I think my journey with SFM was getting off my high horse, but also trusting my own vision, trusting my own path, but also learn to listen. So it was for me, it was, some people have, okay, and then walk away. But for me, it was a contradiction all the time. So I had to really battle my way through it. And, but I persisted. That's one thing I can do.
So it's kind of like it was, on one hand, you had to be able to accept opinions and not let ego get in the way. So listen to what people say. But then on the other hand, you had to filter that information properly and then make a gut decision on what was right for you. But basically, not rejecting information because you didn't like it in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that was a contradiction, because in the past I would have, believed, not believed, but I rejected some advice because I thought, well, I know it all, and on the other hand, I had to, maybe that was a facade, because if they would say something, I would be wiped out and not do, so I really had to trust my own instinct and feelings. Yeah, I think that's what happened in Vegas. So, and from that moment, that was in November last year, in 2016, then things really started to change. Yeah, that's the moment. Yeah.
Sietske. No, thank you very much for that, and also for those last two insights, because I think very, very important distinction about, like you say, getting off your high horse, but at the same time trusting your judgment enough once you've got those opinions and actually listened to them and taken them in, to trust enough to know what's right for you as well. So that's a very, very valuable lesson.
Thank you.
That continues
to bow on things.
Sure. Yeah. I love how it just continues. The common message throughout everything I've heard is believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself. You've got to be able to take those opinions in and look at them objectively and realize that, okay, yes, this will work for me. I will do it. No, this will not work for me. That's just an opinion, and I can move on without personalizing it and making it your identity. That somebody said this about you or had this thought about what you're doing, and that you're strong enough in yourself that you can do that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And one more thing to add to that is that when we talk about meditation, that's where you can get away from your thoughts, and you get aware of that the thoughts you have are thoughts, and that it's not you. And I've always identified with my thoughts. And the moment I could distract or
disconnect from
and see that there were only thoughts, that's when I could learn to trust my own feelings. That's what happened.
We're going to have another call with you, because you just keep going. You just keep making another great point and another great point and another great point. I love it.
I mean, there's a whole tangent we could go on there, isn't there? Becoming the nature of your thoughts. We're not going to go there now.
No.
We'll save that for
the
second version of when we interview you the next time, Sietske. Well, I think right there, this is a great place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Sietske, really, really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I think you have some great insights that will really help some people. I know that I'm honored to have you part of the group that we're all a part of. And it's just been great to see you, develop and create that amazing magazine. It's really been a cool process to watch. And
Thank you very much.
And I'm just really looking forward to seeing, how far you're going to take that. It's amazing. Anyway, Dan, thank you so much for hosting and pulling this together today. We had a rocky start. And everybody else, we will see you again with another special guest and another episode on the Steve and Dan Show. Thank you so much.
Wow. The Steve and Dan Show. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.